Hey, peace, world. Thanks for pressing play on another Pay Me No Mind sports and entertainment video. I'm the man here, Wood, that makes it all work. Um, I'll say, I didn't do my, shout out to the NFL, man, and all the players of the NFL, the coaches who had a pretty solid opening week. Tons of storylines, intrigue, drama, theatrics, great stories, compelling games, all of that. I'm not gonna go into any, the AB situation, whatever. Kind of, man, there's a lot to get into this week. Um, oh, I did not get to touch on my Snowfall recap from last week, and man, Snowfall just continues to be a pretty amazingly executed show. I mean, it has pretty much everything you want. I could nitpick and say one thing that's bothering me, but I mean, right now it's in such a dope space with what it's doing with the script that I'm just sitting back, taking it all in on a week to week basis. And we have some intrigue this week in the fact that Melody shot and severely injured Franklin. And the cliffhanger was, we don't know what's the outcome of that because he was in pretty bad shape on the floor in her house when the show wrapped. I mean, safe to say, that he's gonna. Somebody heard the gunshots and will come next door and find him sprawled out on the floor and get him some help before he bleeds out. But yeah, who saw that coming? Like I said, man, this show is just is dope. Teddy turned away from Julia, his wife, who tried to sabotage his op. He's 10 toes down on this situation with selling drugs, to fund the war. And he's a hell of a patriot, I guess. Other than that, Adrian's partner, I can't remember the officer's name, but the officer that was working with him, he confronts Franklin, and he has his own spin on how to, on what to do with Franklin and how to treat him. And that was kind of a quick, turnaround or heel turn, what have you. His friend, Sergeant Adrian's, Adrian White? Andre White. I'm sorry, Andre White. He actually he wants money. He has a pretty large family. Think his wife might be a stay-at-home wife or something, and he wants to be compensated for his to keep the peace. Other than that, man, I mean, we just see Franklin continuing to kind of struggle with with wearing the crown. He had to turn back man boy, trying to reset the terms, renegotiate the terms because Leon did some silly stuff. Consequently, he had to check Leon. Now that he's got a body on him with taking out Dre, with taking out Andre. Now he confronts Leon with a little more bass in his voice and a little disregard for, we ain't buddy right now. I'm the boss. I built this thing brick by brick, and I'm tired of cleaning up after everybody. So I mean, he's not much for delegating, anything. So, like I said, dope show going on. I don't think this was mentioned as being the season finale this week, but it may be. Maybe they did sneak that in there that this will be the finale tomorrow night on FX. I've been off of, well, a little housekeeping. Next Saturday in Cincinnati, Wyatt Promotions, and I got an article up on roundbyroundboxing.com. Wyatt Promotions is launching their new series. It's called the New Era Boxing Champs. All the information is in the article. I put the link to it down here in the description. A bunch of Cincinnati fighters, some lighter weight cats to look forward to. Still at maybe 2 or 3 wins apiece. I think one of them is headlining it in Angel Legrandier. Adrian Benton is another very accomplished amateur who might be 2-0, 3-0 at this point. He's also on there. I think Adrian might be a lightweight, and Legrandier is a super featherweight, I believe. But interestingly, Glenn DeZern out of Baltimore, he's been on Showbox 3 or 4 times. He's making his 2019. That pocket is ugly. He's making his 2019 debut after a tough fight last year with Joshua Greer, I think in May on Showbox. So that's a little. $25 is the ticket price for general admission. Like I said, all of the information is in the article. Also, low in the region on that Claressa Shields fight, there's a very interesting all Detroit card. I think they are bantamweights, maybe. Speaking of Joshua Greer, a former opponent of his, James Smith, he'll be taking on Jericho O'Quinn. O'Quinn is a internationally ranked, I want to say, whatever the hell is before bantamweight. But both of those guys, I think they're from the east and west sides of Detroit, might be how they're kind of marketing it. Excuse me, but it's interesting to see those two guys face each other and put their O's. Well, I'm sorry. Smith is not O. It does not have an O. He was stopped very impressively by Joshua Greer, which kind of sent him off on, what you see him doing now. I think Greer has a date now to October 26th or something, incidentally. But that'll be on the Claressa Shields, Ivana Habazin card that's up in Flint, Michigan, October 5th. This Friday, man, I guess I'm all over the place on this morning, Wood. This Friday is interesting. I had to look at the calendar. With DAZN having a relationship with or being supplied boxing pretty much by Golden Boy and then by Matchroom Boxing USA, it's interesting that they can have these Friday and Saturday night cards, for the diehard boxing fans. So Friday night in Madison Square Garden at the Hulu Theater, we get a WBC lightweight eliminator featuring, what is he, 21-0, 22-0, Devin Haney against a cat named Abdulayev. I put an article up about this card. Really would have been really dope, but super bantamweight, unified super bantamweight champion Danny Roman had to scratch his fight for due to tendonitis, so he won't be on there. But heavyweight Michael Hunter is on there, taking on some cat named Kuzman. And then there's also a phenomenal female match, women's match bout with Amanda Serrano. What is she? 7 division champion, and then Heather the Heat Hardy. So that'll be phenomenal. There's also I forgot what else I want to mention on that card, but that's Friday night. We get to see Devin Haney in action and kind of work himself into a mandatory spot for Vasily Lomachenko. You also know that we have Tank Davis, Gervonta Davis, now moving into the lightweight division. So makes things a little bit more interesting. And then Saturday night on DAZN, we have the Munguia versus Alati. I guess that one is in California, that Dignity Health. I think that's what it's called now. Dignity Health Field or something, whatever. That one is headlined by Munguia, and then also Ryan Garcia against Avery Sparrow, I believe, is the other one on there. And so action there. And then also on Saturday night is the ESPN Plus action featuring Tyson Fury out in Las Vegas against Otto Valim. I think this fight may be a little better than what we give it credit for. I think Valim will take a stand. Will try to make a stand. He probably is, giving up. He definitely giving up some experience and the size advantage and all of the skills that Tyson Fury has. But I think Valim, despite the fact that his 2 fights here in the States recently haven't really gone too well, one of them being canceled altogether with Flores, BJ Flores having to pull out of the card in Washington, the state of Washington. But my pocket is really bothering me. But I think Valim is going to have it has the chance to have a couple of decent moments. Not big moments, not game-changing moments, but some moments. And then the rest of that card, Emmanuel Navarrete is on a quick turnaround to get back in here to fight in Vegas. Gabriel Flores Jr. is also on that card. Quadras is on that card. Super flyweight or something, or flyweight. I think super fly. So not exactly. And then I'm supposed to talk to this guy, but it's late in the game, and this is a very important moment for him. So I'm kind of hoping, we just missed it and won't get together this week. But a brother named Cassius, I think his last name is Anderson, out of Toledo, Ohio. His manager just hollered at me last week. We were supposed to do a live stream over the weekend. That didn't come together. And now this week, they wanted to talk, but my thought is you got a big fight out in Las Vegas. Why waste time with me? But it was gonna be something quick anyway. I think Cassius is maybe 35 years old, 7-1 heavyweight out of Toledo, Ohio. He's taking on top-ranked heavyweight prospect Guido Vianelli. I think is his last name, how you pronounce it. And Vianelli is 4-0. I think he recently switched over from he left Abel Sanchez and went to, I can't think of his new trainer, but Cassius, my question would have been, obviously he's the house fighter and the guy that they're building, what was kind of his approach? And I think what I would like to see is him find a way to extend the fight and get it over into, try to get some rounds out of it. I think it might only be a 4 or 6 rounder, but try to get to the 3rd round, and don't worry about trying to, stop the guy immediately. One, be in decent shape. Some of these guys at the heavyweight, a lot of those guys that face these contenders just don't even look in good shape. I think Cassius, I saw some pictures on Instagram. I think he is in pretty good shape. So if that's the case, if you have your win, man, try to find a way to get this thing into the 3rd round and mix it up a little bit with the guy. Make him move around a little bit. Make him box. Don't just let him be on no seek and destroy stuff. So tons of boxing on the apps this week. I won't get into my full thought, although I've talked for 14, 15 minutes now. But I just wanted to drop in and get a morning wood off and let me get on out of here, man. Like I always say, man, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Bite Down Boxing. Check those 2 articles out. Maybe it's 3 on there. It might even be 4 on there. I was in my bag a little bit lately. But Bite Down Boxing, don't let them count you out. Peace.